এই আকাশবাণী গুৱাহাটীৰ FM মহাবাহু মহামিলনৰ মহাক্ষেত্ৰ চলন্তিকা।
নমস্কাৰ শ্ৰোতাসকল, আজিৰ চলন্তিকালৈ আপোনালোকক স্বাগতম। আজিৰ অনুষ্ঠানত শুনক ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় মানৱ অধিকাৰ আয়োগৰ অধ্যক্ষ ন্যায়াধীশ অৰুণ কুমাৰ মিশ্ৰৰ সৈতে হোৱা সাক্ষাৎ গ্ৰহণ আমিনুল হক জোদ্দাৰৰ।
Today we have with us Honorable Justice Arun Kumar Mishra, Chairperson National Human Rights Commission of India. We welcome to you to the program, sir. What are the human rights in simple terms?
Human rights are those rights, according to me, those who are not conferred by any institute or by any law. Every human is entitled to all these rights by virtue of birth as a human. That is right to life. Number two, right to equality. And what makes right to life to come in existence, to live with dignity, right? He cannot be, his freedoms which are necessary to enjoy the right to life are not curtailed in an illegal manner. He has right to live with dignity. He has a right to food, right to shelter. These are the basic rights to which one is entitled, and education also. The state is supposed to provide certain minimum facilities, and minimum help has to be given for food, for shelter, and for education, and proper nutrition also for children is necessary. Lactating mothers also to be are required to be looked after, and then one has right towards proper environment also. Environment includes so many aspects in this. There's a global warming going on nowadays. Very human existence may come in jeopardy in case we overlook the principle of sustainable development. So right of development is there. Development has to take place. We cannot be coexist. At the same time, we have to see how much it is sustainable.
So what are the functions of National Human Rights Commission, and what is doing to protect the rights of the people?
Human Rights Commission looks into the various statutory aspects. Powers conferred under the institute to it are very wide. It is not only complaint redressal authority. We do not only decide complaints, but our job is much more than that. We have to look into the various international conventions, treaties, and advise the government for implementation of that, how they can be implemented. We have to see that terrorism in the country comes to an end, and what are the steps required to bring the terrorism to an end. We also look after various schemes, and in case we find there is any gap in the scheme, there is any creases are there in any scheme, or there is any statutory provision, there are gaps in equality, there are gaps of gender justice, how to ensure that these defects are removed, and each and every person enjoy the dignity and the benefits which are supposed to reach to them.
So how can a common person approach the NSRC to file a complaint?
One can personally file the complaint. It can be filed through someone else also. Some NGO, some human rights defender can also file, or any person on his behalf can file a complaint. It can be filed online. It can be filed by post, by simply sending a letter to our office. It can be filed online also. And there are now 3 lakh common service centers in the country which are attached to our portal. There, a person by simply going to them can ask that person who is running that common service center by paying requisite charge. We do not charge anything. By common service center, those who are running it charge nominal fee of ₹30 for their providing the services. It can be lodged online also, and we are mostly now receiving the complaints online, and we are deciding them and doing the justice. We are recommending compensation in case we find there is violation of human rights, and other recommendations are also made for against the guilty person, such as departmental inquiries, etc.
So what is your plan to strengthen the NSRC, as we know it is a recommendatory body?
Though we are a recommendatory body, but we ensure, and we are saying, I am happy to note that our recommendations are complied with mostly they are complied with within a reasonable time. Even when today also there was one case in which we have simply issued a show cause notice for payment of compensation, why it should not be paid. State authorities came with a reply that we have already paid the compensation as proposed in the show cause notice, and we have complied with your intention to make the payment of compensation in this case.
What are the nature of cases you receive and from which social strata?
We are receiving complaints from firstly, it is necessary to send complaint to us with respect to the any custodial death within 24 hours. It is also necessary to send a complaint to us with respect to the death in the encounters. We are also looking into every death in custody. We are whether it is by negligence or by some omission or there is some torture in the custody. We look into every case. It is necessary to send the report of every custodial death to NHRC or concerned SHRC, and then they look after these custodial death cases, and then we receive the complaints with respect to the not giving the benefit of a particular scheme in a particular group, or certain persons are left out, they are not receiving the benefit of particular scheme, or they are deprived of certain benefit of certain rights under any of the governmental scheme or any statutory provision, then we look after, and we look after such cases of medical negligence also by in the government hospitals. We look after the cases of conditions in the orphanage, destitute homes. We are looking after the complaints of not supplying the food properly under the public distribution scheme. We are looking after all kind of complaints we are receiving, and we are looking after them, and we can order investigation also in case we feel that police investigation is required. Independent police investigation is required by Human Rights Commission. We have a special police wing which is manned by senior officer like a Director General of the Police. We have DIG also as SSP's rank officers also in that, and we send our team throughout countries to make the spot investigation, collect the evidence, and to give a report to us. Our research wing also continuously work to ensure that how the benefit should reach of the various schemes to the needy, to the downtrodden, to whom for whose benefit these schemes have been formulated.
So there have been encounters which have claimed to be fake. As per media reports, around 100 encounters have taken place in Assam during the last few months. In this regard, complaints have been lodged with the NHRC alleging serious allegation of human rights violation. What is the status of that complaint?
We are looking after each and every complaint which has been received. We are making inquiries, we are calling for the report. There were also certain cases in which certain reports were required. We call for the report, we hear the incumbents, then we send the reply received and the report received to the concerned complainant. We hear them, and in case we find that there is any encounter which is fake, we direct compensation to be paid, as well as the erring officials. Against erring officials there should be departmental inquiry, or they should be criminally prosecuted as the case may be.
What is your view on the Armed Forces Special Power Act and the recent killings of civilians in Nagaland by the Armed Forces?
If we come to the act first, this act, Commission is of the considered view that act should be reviewed time to time. Its extension, whether it is required in particular district or not, and the state government should review it. And I have pious hope, and I expect the concerned state government where this act is enforced to review the situation in a particular district and to find out whether the application of the act is necessary for that particular district, where there is such insurgency conditions remains in that district, and then they should take a decision to withdraw it from that area. And I hope that concerned states should take the action as early as possible, and periodical review with respect to application of this kind of act must be taken by each and every state government where such acts are enforced. Nagaland case I would not comment because that is pending before us, but the procedure I have already stated to you what is the procedure we adopt in such cases. But it's at the same time, without meaning to comment on the Nagaland case, I simply observe that these forces are there to protect the human and human rights. It is their pious duty to verify, to make proper verification of the incumbents whether they are insurgent, and only to act thereafter when, even if in case they are encircling any area so as to find out a doubtful person is there or not. Least trouble should be caused to the civilians is their duty, and they have to protect human rights. Invariably they are for the protection of the human rights, and you see their main function of forces any kind of force, police force, semi-armed force or forces, is for protection of human, and they are bound to protect the human rights. This much I can say and share with you without any hesitation. And we will take action in any case we take action in any case if find there is any remiss on the part of any such force, and make appropriate recommendation in accordance with law, which we can make.
Do you think police reform is required, as most of the human right violation complaint you receive is against the police force?
See, if we consider that police is the only violator of the human rights, we are failing in our perspective to gauge what kind of human rights exist in the country and where there are violations taking place. No doubt about it that police is supposed to be much better and not to use any torture technique. They have to actually go for very scientific investigation. If they are investigating any case in a scientific manner, they will collect the evidence, and they've got no right to torture anybody. They cannot beat anybody. It is just whenever we find any case that there is some doubtful case in the police of death in a police custody, or even suicide take place, police and jail authorities are, whether it is in the police custody or in the judicial custody in jail, whenever any death take place, it is due to there may be some negligence on the part of police officials. In case this is death by suicide, they have to ensure that person is not able to commit suicide in the jails or in the police custody. It is their duty to look into these aspects. I do not say, sometimes there is some negligence also. Sometimes people may commit suicide by hanging or any other method in jail, but it is the duty of the officials also to ensure that no such material exists in the jail that they can hang themselves. It is their duty to ensure that no such deaths takes. Police reforms are definitely, they are going on. Police has improved, and there are good persons in the police also, but as well as at the same time we are receiving the complaints, so I cannot say that reforms have successfully reached to every person. There is human failure part also in the police force, which should not be there. Ideal would be that there is no harassment by the police of anybody, there is no torture by the police of anybody. Police force is there to protect the innocent persons, and they have to take action against the criminal person also in accordance with law, not to take the law in their hands. And there is no room for fake encounters and to deliver instant justice in our culture according to the law by which we are governed. Concept of the law is this, that no innocent person should be punished. Let there be 100 acquittals, but on doubt nobody should be punished. No innocent person should be punished without a due trial. That is the concept in which we live. That is the concept with which police force must act. They are not supposed to take law in their hands, and we see when there is a complaint of fake encounter or any such complaint, that is barbaric, and it should stop in case it is being done intentionally. Though there may be certain cases of encounters which may not be fake, but there is allegation made. In such circumstances, we have to look carefully. Rights of the force also, but when police or any other force exercise any weapon or is firing at any person, they have to ensure that it is absolutely necessary, and it is not any much force should be used by them as may be necessary in the facts and circumstances. That is the protection of human rights expected from these forces.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
চলন্তিকা শুনিলে আজিৰ অনুষ্ঠানত ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় মানৱ অধিকাৰ আয়োগৰ অধ্যক্ষ ন্যায়াধীশ অৰুণ কুমাৰ মিশ্ৰৰ সৈতে হোৱা সাক্ষাৎকাৰটি শুনিলে। সাক্ষাৎ গ্ৰহণ কৰিলে আমিনুল হক জোদ্দাৰে। অনুষ্ঠানটিৰ প্ৰযোজনা কৰিলে মানস প্ৰতিম শৰ্মাই। সহযোগিতা আগবঢ়ালে অপূৰ্ব মালিয়ে। পৰৱৰ্তী চলন্তিকা শুনিবলৈ পাব অহা সপ্তাহৰ আজিৰ এই একে সময়তে। নমস্কাৰ।